She even called it, as I said, the gold standard. Its passage would be a disaster for Michigan in particular, for the car industry in particular, for the people of Michigan. I won't let it happen. According to the Economic Policy Institute, the United States trade deficit with the proposed TPP member countries cost over 1 million manufacturing jobs in our country in 2015. By far, the biggest losses occurred in motor vehicles and parts, which lost nearly 740,000. Think of that, 740,000 manufacturing jobs. Michigan ranks first for jobs lost as a share of state workforce due to trade deficit with TPP members. Just imagine how many more automobile jobs will be lost if Hillary gets her wish and approves TPP. It will not be pretty. That's why I have announced that we will withdraw from the deal before that deal can ever happen. I have previously laid out a detailed 7-point plan for trade reform available on my website. It includes strong protections against currency manipulation from countries like China and tariffs against any nation that cheats by unfairly subsidizing their goods, of which many of them do. My plan also includes a total renegotiation of NAFTA so our jobs can come back. And if we can't make a much better deal than we have right now, we will walk. I'm not in any way, shape, or form an isolationist. I don't believe in it. But we have to make great deals for our country. We're losing in our whole trade negotiation with all countries over $800 billion a year. That's a trade deficit. Who negotiates these deals? We want great trade deals, and we will have them. But we want trade deals that work for America, that create jobs and wealth for our country, that work for the American worker. We want to shrink our almost $800 billion trade deficit. We don't want to expand it, and it's been expanding for years. For years and years, you look at the charts, up. And I say to myself so often, why don't they do something about it? And the reason is we have political hacks as our negotiators. We have politicians as our negotiators. We have politicians that are controlled, like Hillary Clinton, by her donors, her special interests, and her lobbyists, and they won't let her do what's right for our workers and for our country. We want to be leading the world in production, exports, and manufacturing. We want jobs to leave from other countries and come into our country for a change. Another major issue in this race is foreign policy. Hillary Clinton has made one bad foreign policy decision after another, beginning with the support for going to war in Iraq. And I opposed it so strongly. Nobody cared. I was a civilian, but I opposed it. I said, you will have a total destabilization of the Middle East. It was such common sense, and look what happened. Her tenure as Secretary of State may be regarded as the most disastrous in United States history, but she is totally without remorse. Her failed decisions as Secretary of State unleashed ISIS onto the world. But has she ever apologized for the death and destruction she has caused? No. Look at the world before and after she became Secretary of State. Pre-Hillary, in the early 2009s, Iraq was seeing a reduction in violence. Libya was somewhat stable. Syria was under control. The group we now know today, ISIS, was close to being extinguished. Iran was being choked by sanctions. Now, take a look at what we have. Fast forward to the present time. After Hillary, here is